to close Levenshulme Library are staging a sit-in there this evening. They were attending an event that was going to finish at 4:45, but many have stayed in the library. Valerie O'Riordan is one of the protesters, and she joins me now. Valerie, good evening.
Hi, Andy.
How many have sat in, as it were, Valerie, tonight?
And we've got about 40 people here at the moment, and that ranges from 2-year-olds to retired people. So we've got a kind of a good cross-section of the community in here.
And was your desire to sit in sort of easily achieved, or did anybody try to usher you out?
The librarians weren't too keen on the situation, and we completely understand their plight. They're council employees, and I couldn't speak on their behalf. But obviously, it's a slightly compromised position for them, and that's unfortunate. But
there you are. There are 40 of you, so feelings are running high. But I understand we have a consultation period on this, so it's not a foregone conclusion, is it, Valerie? This.
Well, the problem with the consultation period is that the executive meeting about the budget is happening next Wednesday morning, while the consultation itself runs till April, and we see quite a contradiction there. The council previously ran a consultation on this issue, which was illegal because they only produced it in one language, which meant quite a lot of people in the Levenshulme area couldn't actually read the consultation. And it also, while it discussed a possible new leisure centre being built, it didn't actually ask the people of Levenshulme whether they would rather the current facilities stayed open. Okay. So we don't feel that it offered any kind of representative, options for people to say how they truly felt.
So is that what you're demonstrating about? Do you want a better consultation, or are you simply saying please don't close our library?
We want our library to stay open. We're getting very mixed messages from the council. On the one hand, we're being told that a facility will be built opening in 2015 that will house the swimming baths. We don't want those to close either. And the best case scenario is that the baths and the library will be replaced like for like opening in 2015, but that gives us a 2-year gap with no facilities. Worst case scenario is that doesn't actually go ahead. And 2 years ago, Levenshulme also had a protest at the closure of the baths, and we were promised by the council that the baths would not be closed until new facilities were built, and that was an empty promise because now they're going to close them. And as regards the library, we've been getting a lot of conflicting information. One of the options they seem to be proposing is not a replacement library, but a library offer, which is one of the options they're giving us is that a small book collection will be housed by perhaps a church or a supermarket locally, which really
not
isn't
ideal.
What we want a community library.
Not ideal, but
no.
You will appreciate, Valerie, that the local authority are constrained by the budgets that they've received from central government. They simply don't have the money. So which library should they close, Valerie? If not yours, whose?
Well, obviously we don't want to see any libraries closing.
No, but that's the problem, isn't it? Somebody has to be the one who has their library closed, Valerie, because there isn't enough money. So if not yours, whose?
Well, we don't want to see any of them closing. We want to see the council offer us various options. At the moment, we're being told that they must close, and at the same time, the council is allocating quite a lot of money for city centre developments like St. Peter's Square, and we feel that the council is supposed to serve us, the people of Manchester, and at the moment, they're demonstrating that by closing our public facilities.
So you don't want any libraries to close? You want them to divert funds from other developments back into the public services?
Well, we don't necessarily want them to divert money from one particular development. I'm not a business expert. I'm just a member of the community who feels that we're being stiffed by the council right now.
That's the trouble, though, isn't it? You see, everybody who loses their particular library, school facility, after-school club or whatever it is feels that they are being stiffed. And as you quite rightly say, none of us are experts, Valerie. I'm not an expert. I don't have unparalleled access to the local authority budget, but I do know they haven't got any money. And what I hear quite regularly is, don't close my thing, but I'm not prepared to tell you what I'm prepared to see closed, which is exactly what you've told me. Please don't close any libraries. Well, that's just not going to happen, is it?
It's a very difficult situation. It's interesting because the library consultation that's going on at the moment, the Manchester City Council has sent out leaflets to our local area, asking us that if we want to have more information on the consultation procedure, to say what we think ought to happen to the libraries, we ought to go to our local library to to get the information. So we feel that on the one hand, they are very sure that the library is an important service and that the community needs them, because not everybody, for instance, has access to internet facilities at home. And on the other hand, you're being told to use these facilities to tick boxes agreeing that those facilities will be shut. And I know budget issues are very complicated, but this is an area, Levenshulme in particular, that is quite a deprived area. We have very few public facilities. If the library and the baths shut down, that's it. We don't have bookshops. We don't have chain bookshops or independent bookshops. The children of Levenshulme will have nowhere to go to read.
Okay.
We've got community groups. The Levenshulme Lifelong Learning Association has been meeting here for 20 years in the library's meeting rooms. There's a lot of people who will be left out in the cold if this shuts.
Okay, and 40 of them are in the library tonight expressing that view. Thank you, Valerie. A strongly felt case, passionately put, I think it would be fair to say. Valerie O'Riordan, one of the protesters, sitting in at Levenshulme Library tonight, objecting to the council's plans to close the facility. You're listening to BBC Radio Manchester, just gone 5:45.